Well, praise the Lord, hallelujah, and thank you, Jesus. It's around that time right here on KAZ Radio where I have one of my most favorite shows, none other than Stella Girl Radio, with none other than Stella. Take it away, Stella.
Hello, hello, Stella Starlights. How are y'all doing today? You know, I gave a little shout out earlier. I was just a few minutes behind in letting you guys know what tonight was going to be about. But first, I want to talk about my guest tonight. This woman right here is so awesome. I just love her. When I first met her, I met her in a bank. She was the bank manager, and she helped me with my situation, and I was in awe of her. She was the first African American woman that ever sat down and talked to me positively and helped me out with my situation. I was so in awe of her. Then she brought me into direct marketing, which made me blossom into this awesome girl that I am today. She brought out a little bit of Stella Girl. And then the thing about it is that she's always been so personable, always had my back, always poured into me, and always made me feel very important when anything that we needed to do. So without further ado, I want to introduce my girl, Tirah Thompson, who is also her own owner of State Farm, Tirah Thompson State Farm Agency. Hey, Tirah girl.
Girl, thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am just so happy that you were free to do
Oh,
it.
I would definitely free my schedule up for Stella Girl.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Tyra, the one thing, the little bit that I said earlier, when we first got together, I was so shy and so closed off. And I just want to say thank you so very much for to just pouring into me and always being there with me step by step and letting me know what time it is.
And I'm sure nobody believes that you were ever shy, but
Right.
she was shy. I mean, really. But yes, I'm so glad to see you blossom.
Oh, thank you.
By
So,
the way, I knew you had it in you.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You kept telling me. Yeah, you did. So tonight, as I was telling them earlier today, the show really is about, are you covered? And in saying that, that's just like some people don't believe that they need to be covered in all situations. There's always a reason why, or they don't have the money or whatever. I'm gonna bring this up because this bothers me so much. If you made the decision to move in with someone, you made the decision to be committed in that situation. You made the decision if you decided to have children with this person. And so, with that being said, are both of you and the person you moved in with, are you covered to help in case something happens to you, your children? What, are they covered? Elaborate on that a little bit for me, Tyra.
Well, we definitely are living in different times where people don't always get together and be married. And there's still a lot of old rules on the books as it relates to marriage. And when someone is not married, there's a lot of times when someone can be left in the cold when it comes to being protected with insurances, especially life insurances. So it is something that you have to self direct. If you do not self direct, you are not protected. You are not covered. Neither are your kids. So when you're in a committed relationship, it is important to, you may as well feel like you're married. And if you don't feel like you're married, you still need to protect and be committed to each other in case or when, and that's the key word, when something happens to the other person that will change their financial situation because they have been relying on each other's income. And unfortunately, that sometimes people feel like, well, we're not married, so I don't have to do that. That's not good.
But then when they say that, the thing that's so crazy about that is that you've been living together or, in that committed relationship and their family is looking at you. They looking at you like, what do you mean? Why are we frying fish? Why? What? I got to ask. I got to go ask family and friends for money to assist in burying my loved one. And so, as an individual, it's you have to come to that moment when you say, I don't want to be stressed out trying to find a way to bury my loved one. That's even with my children, even don't laugh at me, y'all. Even my fur babies. Can you imagine just trying to get to that point of your loved one sitting in the morgue or in the funeral parlor for 4 to 6 weeks because you're trying to get money together?
Yeah.
And now they do loans and stuff with it, but at the same time, what if you don't qualify for the
Right.
loan? So that money that you spend every weekend, I'm sorry, that $200 or $300 y'all spend on hair. Y'all could be using some of that money to pay per month for insurance. So the other thing, talk about the teens too, Tirah, because our teens are out here falling out too. So I mean, explain about that a little bit too.
Yeah. Let me go back just a little bit. Let me tell you a little story. I had a friend and she passed away. Years ago, about 15 years ago, I encouraged her to get a life insurance policy. She has 4 kids and she bought the life policy. Unfortunately, there are times when people feel that they have a life insurance policy, and when financial times hit hard, that they think that's one that should just I can put off.
Yeah.
So unexpectedly, she passed away. And when she passed away, I thought, oh my goodness, I know she still has that policy. It was a cash value policy. I know that there's money that could be pulled out and all this, but randomly I get a call from her son. At the time he was 27. He calls, Tirah, can you help us bury my mom? And I said, oh, don't worry. I know for a fact she bought a life policy through State Farm. See, because one other thing is people buy policies and they don't tell you they bought a policy. They don't know where it is, or they didn't tell you where it is. So I said, oh, I'm sure she's got a State Farm policy. Oh, I go to search for it. No policy.
Wow.
He did find a policy. And he said, oh, I found one for $300,000. Like, oh, wow, that's even better, right?
Right.
Turned out to be an accidental death and dismemberment policy. No good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did what we need to do to help get her buried. However, he did take out a loan. Now, can you imagine you've lost your mom, and every time you make that loan payment, you got to grieve over again.
Right.
You've lost your mom again and again and again. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been so much wealth built through this in this country through insurances. Did you know Walt Disney started from a life insurance policy? So did McDonald's.
Wow.
And it's just nuts. But we are woke now. We are woke, and we're still waking up.
Yeah.
That this is an avenue that we need to take advantage of. And so when you talk about these teenagers, I have a policy I'm doing today with a lady. She's 18, little young girl, 18. She can get a $250,000 policy for $19.
Mm.
And she was surprised. She didn't think she needed it, but her mom kept encouraging her to do this policy. So I don't want anybody to pre-guess that they can't afford something. Mm-hmm. Really, you can't afford not to. But yeah, we are losing our young people. We're losing them in the streets, and a lot of them do not have any kind of life insurance because they think it's for somebody, it's for when you get older. No, it's not. It's not for when you get older, because when you get older, you may have health issues. Mm-hmm. It's actually for you at birth. If you can get your policy at birth, that's the best time to get it. Because I've actually had some babies that were declined because of health issues. So yeah, the young folks, it's inexpensive, and there's all kinds of avenues. Whether one you get that just is a lot of insurance for a little bit of money, or one that's a combination of saving and insurance. That's the best one.
Right, right. So since
Yeah,
you
we
was
are losing our
since you was
kids.
talking about those babies,
I'm sorry.
since you was talking about those babies, you said something to me the other day. I had no clue. I'm telling you, I had no clue that this even existed. When a
Yes.
young woman can buy a policy and get a rider for whenever she has a baby,
Yes.
that baby is covered when it comes
Already
out the
covered.
womb.
Absolutely.
Talk about it,
Yeah.
sister. Talk about it,
Yeah.
because I didn't know nothing about that.
Yes, it's actually called a child term rider. And some people say, well, I don't have any kids, so I don't need this. Well, the younger you are, and at least you have to be at least 18 to get this type of policy. So you get the policy, you add the rider on before children, because again, you don't know what's going to happen. You want every baby born healthy, and most are, but there are times when there are some serious situations. And there's some that are not so serious, but it still can prevent that child from being insured. So you are pre insuring that person. And by the way, we're talking about $2.35 to insure that baby for up to $25,000, or $4.35 to insure them for up to $50,000. And that child stays with that policy until they're 25. And this is the key to it. When that child turns 25, they can get a life policy for $50,000 with no medical review at all. It's called guaranteed rider. So
Wow.
let's say I had a young lady. She was 18. She did not want that rider. She said, "Oh, I don't even think I'm going to have children." 2 years later, she had a baby. So she wanted to add that rider. Well, her policy was already in place, so she then had to go back through a medical exam, or not an exam, because we don't do exams anymore. We do a questionnaire, a medical review, and we review the doctor records. But she could not qualify. So there was no way for us to add that rider. I really insisted that she put it on, but sometimes people think, well, I don't want to pay an extra $4, because I might not have kids for 20 years. Well, anyway, but it is a wonderful thing to be able to know that when you're having that baby is going to be insured instantly, and then be able to be covered until they're 25 years old. Similar to what happens with our health, with the healthcare covering the kids. So it's a good thing. It's easy. It's simple. It doesn't need a medical. And by the way, that's $4 for all children. So if you got 10 children, it covers all of them for $4.
But you
Nobody
know
has.
why they don't want to do that extra time? They always saying they trying to get extra money out of me. And I mean, seriously, $4? Really? Are you really?
I don't even think you can get a fast food dinner for $4
No,
anymore.
no. The only thing you get is $1 hamburger from McDonald's, maybe,
Maybe.
because I think they're $1.25 now, aren't they? Wow. But I
Child
just
rider is a great thing. There's all kinds of riders that you can add. You personalize it to your life, and there's no more should anyone ever put their life policy in the drawer and forget about it. You want to review it when your life changes, and as your family grows, and as you get a home, if you incur more debt, or when you pay off debt, you can decide you need to change that policy on a regular basis. That's where an agent comes in. That's where I come in.
yeah. Cause I know when I sat down with you, you just put my whole little life together with it. You was like, okay, Stella, just because you have it on your job, that don't go with you, sweetie, in
Oh
case
boy.
something happened. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got downsized. I had been paying on my policy. Luckily, with my second husband, when he passed away, I was able to use that. But when they downsized me and I no longer worked at University Hospital, they didn't contact me and ask me did I want to continue paying on it. They didn't offer me, say, we can continue on with this policy with that. And it was like almost $200,000 that I had been paying for 18 years. So now I didn't have anything. So now I'm over 50. So then when I was over 50, that meant that it was more expensive. If you starting off younger, if I had did it when I was in my 30s per se, when I was over there, that would have
Right.
made more sense. That's the
Right.
other thing that young people don't get.
Oh,
They want to talk about, oh, I get that when when I get ready to retire. Well, no, you you may not qualify for none then. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to get it together now. 30, 20, 30s, 40s. You got to get it together. It's something that's needed.
I
Coverage
hear
is
that
needed.
every day. I hear
Yeah.
that. I got it at work. I have it at work. I have it at work. And that's a beautiful thing to have it at work. But I bet you they didn't give you a copy of that policy. They didn't put one in your hand. Now, there's a few companies that might, but very rare.
Yeah.
And you know what? That actually even happened to my mom. I started this agency 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, my mom actually retired 8 years ago. And when she retired, she worked for the public school system for 40 years. She
Mm.
just knew she had a life insurance policy. And so here she was at 70, I think, yeah, it was 70 or 72, that she was looking for a life policy. I was like, wow. And you know what? That brings me to this. Moms, dads, parents, for some reason, they just feel like, I got this. Don't ask me about that. I don't want to tell you nothing about that. I ain't gone yet. What you trying to do? Put me in the grave? You know? You got to get on them mothers and dads. They are
Yep.
the worst sometimes. I'm like,
Right.
this is my business. Finally, she showed me, and I'm like, what? But we got it together. But boy, I tell you, please do not think that your work policy is your life policy. It's yours while you're there. But I don't know how many people will stay on their job till they're 90.
Right. Exactly.
You can nowadays our life policies go to age 121. Wow.
That
Hey, 60 is the new 40.
girl, you already know. You better say something. You better say something.
40. So you're going to be living a long time, and you got to make sure you have that policy in place before you retire, because it can be more expensive. And when you become retired, you're on a fixed income. You have less money to work with. So I tell you though, the best policy to get is one that's totally paid off in full in 10 years.
That's what's up. I'm telling you. I'm
No more
telling you.
payments, but nothing but cash value building up. Can you say ching ching?
Ching
When
ching,
you
girlfriend.
Yeah, that's policy. People don't even know about that one. That's a good secret.
Wow.
Should
Wow.
be out there for
That's
everybody.
crazy. Well, the main thing that I love the most is that not only with the life insurance policies and everything, Tirah also, as we know, bundles and everything. You got car insurance, life insurance, your house. Do y'all do business insurance,
Oh
Tirah?
my goodness. That's my specialty. I was a business
Oh,
banker at Huntington.
all right
That is
now.
I love doing business insurance. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
not only do I do it, it's just not just insurance. I find that, I've been in business a long time. Prior to working, at the bank, we owned 17 restaurants. And so I learned how to put the deal together from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that business experience and put it into Huntington as a business banking specialist, which I like to coach the business on what to do, help them as much as I can, because some people, you may know landscaping, but you might not know how to form your business. So I'm gonna let you do your business part, and I'm gonna help you with setting up the back room, as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do. I try to coach as well, because there's so much to it, and you definitely want to make sure you're protected from a business standpoint, because this is a sue me society.
Amen.
They do some things too, and you need that liability. And by the way, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah. Now tell me about that other part when you was talking about suing and everything. Didn't you told me the other day? Wasn't it don't you have like legal stuff in case
Oh,
somebody?
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, many people don't know that your insurance policies actually comes in with built-in um, fees for attorneys. When you put in a claim, you think we're just, there's just an administrative person there, um, just doing paperwork. But I had a customer, unfortunately, he hit someone on a motorcycle, and he was sued big time. And if he had to have, so of course the claim went in for the guy on the motorcycle, and the guy wasn't killed, thank goodness, but he was um, disabled. He became disabled, and of course he wanted to sue for long range. And our all insurance policies, when a claim is put in and that liability is there, they go to bat to try to work with that claimant to get that liability coverage. However, they also try to protect you as the customer by saying, well, if your liability limit is 300,000, we're going to try to negotiate for that 300,000. Whereas somebody might try to go for 500,000, and you got to come up with 200,000 out of your pocket, out of your house, out of your retirement money or your 401k. So yeah, and not even just big deals. When it's a little deal, our attorneys are already in the background making sure that you are protected. That's what insurance is all about. It's all about protection. And so many times people are really just caught up on, well, the insurance is cost this and cost that, but there are other factors included in that cost to keep you protected. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
But thank you for bringing that up.
I just, like I said, I enjoy our conversations all the time because I don't care what question I come up with. She always, if she don't know, that's where I learned it from. If I don't know, I'll find somebody who does.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's just amazing how, I mean, at every turn, there's nothing that I can't discuss with her. There's nothing, I mean, you can go into her office, close her door, and just lay it on the table. What is it that you need? Don't be ashamed to say what it is that you need, because she's gonna let you know exactly how to get it at a reasonable cost, how to get it, and what would benefit you. It's not about her. She is a woman of service. And that's the thing that I love the most about her, is because it is about being of service. And she just always comes in and does what she needs to do to be of service to you. So it's not like how you feel sometimes when you looking across the table at somebody, you just trying to get my money. You don't care what it is. You just going to keep adding stuff on here, and then I got to sign my name. You know, and that's what they be thinking. That's what people think about. That's the reason why it's so easy for them to pass on insurance. I was at an event one time. We was over at Tri-C, and we were outside, and the guy that was standing next to me, he was selling life insurance policy. I mean, the people was running from this man. And this one guy, he just stood in front of me. He was like, no, I ain't doing that. You ain't going to jinx my life, this, that, and the other. I told him, I said, jinx your life. I said, okay, you don't buy this policy while you standing here right now, and you go out in the parking lot and somebody run you over. Who jinxed you? Who jinxed you? It's not a jinx. You jinxing yourself by saying that you feel like if you buy a life policy that you are bringing death into your life. That you got an expiration point. You do. Everybody has an expiration date. So the thing about it is that you just don't know when that date is. So why not be covered and take care of your family so they don't have to grieve over you and find a way to lay you to rest? Go ahead, Tirah. I'm sorry. I know you was about to say.
No, I was just going to say it's all about fear.
Yeah.
It's fear. And you'd be surprised how many young people feel that way. You would think, where'd you get this from? That you have to, that if you take this pen and you write your name on a piece of paper, you're going to die. Well, I hate to break it to you, you are going to die. It's just not because of this paper and this pen. and it is superstitious. It's just some thought processes that people have, and that's something that they have to personally, deal with this. I try to say, if you love the person that you are leaving behind more than that fear that you have, then you will do what you have to do to take care of business. And that's what it's about. It's about taking care of the business. It's about loving the people that are behind.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I've had people say, well, I'm going to be gone. I don't care. I'm like, I can't honestly believe you do not love your mom. Well, I do love my mom. Okay. Well, then your mom is going to have to, okay, we've been talking about this enough. I know people can understand that you have to take care of the people that you leave behind. So when you don't, it creates a domino effect of people behind them and behind them. In other words, you never can get ahead, because every time you think you're going to get ahead, you've got to spend your money on putting someone in your family in the ground. And I bet you I can talk to 10 people and 9 of them will say, yes, I had to help somebody at some point. Now, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with helping people. But when you already got a tight budget, you're trying to make your ends meet, you scrape it together some kind of way and to help out. But why should you? I'm going to tell you, State Farm got a lot of money. They got plenty of money. And this is the one time that I can pay you back.
Come on now.
You can pay all your premiums, pay in, but this is the one time that I can pay you back 100,000, 250,000, 10,000, 25,000. There's money that can be paid back to your family to be able to make the next generation better. I always, say, I was a single mom for a long, long time, and I was on a tight, strict budget. And I always said, but no matter what, I still kept my $500,000 life policy.
Come on now.
Because I always felt like if something ever happened to me, I want to make sure my kids can still go to college. I want to make sure they can still live at the same standard or better, and that they can get a next, now I have a granddaughter. I want her to be able to have a better start. Mm-hmm. But it's just something that we don't often think about. But again, as I said, we are woke now. We know that we need to take care of the next group.
That's
and
right.
That can be done through life insurance. So,
yeah. Well, Tirah, I want to thank you so very much for coming on tonight, because I don't know how many people out there were really paying attention, and that this light bulb has come on for you. I don't care how many children you have. I don't care how many relationships you had. I don't care whether or not one mom is here, one mom isn't, dad gone, both dads gone. You need to understand that this is something that you need. But on closing, I just want... Go ahead.
Can I say one really quick?
Yeah.
People think they can shop for everything on the internet. You can't shop for insurance on the internet. You can do some research. But when it comes down to it, I had a girl today, she found a policy on the internet for $300. When she called me, it was $116.
But that's it. They need to come in. They do need to come in. Tirah, tell me your address and your phone number, please.
Sure. My phone number is 440-628-8488. 440-628-8488. And I'm at Tirah at agenttirah.com. I'm in North Royalton, but I have customers all over Ohio, Cincinnati, Columbus, everywhere in Ohio. And I'm licensed in 10 states. So if you got relatives in other states, I can take care of them as well. I'm at 12273 York Road, North Royalton.
All righty. So I want to thank you again so much for coming in with me. I know this won't be the last time. We will do it again, girlfriend, because you the hostess with the mostest. I love you so much. I thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
And thank you, Kaz Radio. I appreciate it.
All right. And next week, you guys, the conversation is going to be about relationships with nonprofits and some of the things that they do. The thing that is real funny about it, I'll be in Puerto Rico. So I'll be broadcasting from there. I thank you so much. Y'all have a good night, Stella Starlights. I love ya. Good night.
Good night.